You see me take the glasses off? Well, good morning, everyone. You're in the office with Joseph Skoda. Joseph Skoda. We always like to say G.I. Joe Skoda. It makes me feel good deep down inside because in the heart, I've always been a GI. And that's something I want to talk to you a little bit about today. It's gratitude. You see behind me? Gratitude is the best attitude. And don't get me wrong, coffee helps. I like coffee. And I'm very thankful for the coffee I have in my life and the people in my life. Now, gratitude, it turns what little bit we have actually into abundance if we think about it. And it's a lot more than just saying thank you. And gratitude can change our perspective in the world. So think about that. What are we doing that we're grateful for? Now, sometimes we just think about being thankful during Thanksgiving, or that's when we portray it more often than any other time. And that's a good time to maybe go above and beyond what made us feel good with our family or friends throughout the year. But, gratitude's, like we said, it's a similar emotion to appreciation. And it's both a kind of a state and even a trait. One can experience gratitude for someone or even something at a certain moment in time. And someone can experience gratitude more long term as a positive character trait. Now, people ask me often, why are you always in a good mood? Why are you always smiling? Just last night, someone asked me that. And the answer I gave them, I don't know if it was the best answer or not, is because I lived in a homeless shelter for 6 months. I wasn't desolate. I had a little bit of income coming in, but I lived there a little bit longer than I should have. But I was grateful for a roof over my head and at least a dinner every evening and grateful for the people I got to meet while I was there. You see, people in homeless shelter, sure, we have addictions there. We do. There are people who are addicted to drugs or alcohol or something else and they can't get their life together. But some people were divorced or their spouse died or they lost their job and they become a little desolate, don't have the income to persevere and make it in this world. And it's tough. And in the state of gratitude, we just kind of learn how to say, well, yes to life. This is our life. We make the best of it. We have to affirm that in all life really is good in elements of life, despite our circumstances, make it worth living. The acknowledgement that we receive something that gratifies us. Maybe someone does give us a cup of coffee. Maybe someone shows us how to do a podcast. Maybe someone introduces to someone we start dating. And even if that date doesn't go well or the relationship doesn't end well, we should still be thankful that we had the experience. Hopefully, we grew from that relationship. Hopefully, we learned a few things. Hopefully, we're better in our next relationships. Gratitude's recognizing those sources of goodness that are outside of us. We can be grateful to God, and we should be grateful to God, our creator, and animals and other people, and not just ourselves. Be grateful for people that kind of put us in the right mood. Again, I was asked, why am I smiling? And I've decided to wake up with a smile every morning and decide to go to bed with a smile every evening. Now, in between, I'm not always smiling. I'm not always happy. I do get stressed. I even get angry and mad from time to time. And even me, my wife can get a little tiffs or arguments throughout the day, and we're not in the best moods when we go to bed. But we're still grateful. We still appreciate one another and what we're challenging one another to be. It's usually better people, not just for each other, but for the people we come into contact with on a regular basis. Now, it's very interesting. I talked about G.I. Joe Skoda and what I loved about the military. I used to work on airplanes. When I first joined, I was in the Philippines. I was working on F-4 and F-5 fighter jets. And most of my career, I've been around airplanes. If not on the the base itself, maybe an airport nearby. And so I even did that as an additional job or a part-time job working at airports. And I enjoy it because when you're working on something and you see it take off and land and everybody's safe, it kind of makes you feel good inside. And I'm sure the pilots had their own gratitude and way of thanking us also. Well, I'm going to tell you, my last base that I was stationed at was called Vandenberg Air Force Base. And it was extremely frustrating for me being there. Later on, it became a Space Force base. But when I went there, there was no planes. We have a huge runway. You can actually was designed, they were going, they made it longer to let the space shuttle land there. And politics and other things got in the way and never really happened. But they had the space shuttle there once or twice. I think it was in the 80s, long before I was there. And when I did get there, I was thankful. I was an operations officer for a helicopter squadron we had there for a short time. And I got to fly in the helicopters up and down the coast of California. And that was fun. But they didn't stay there that long that I was there. And eventually there was no airplanes or helicopters at all. And so I went there for space and missile training. And we launched rockets on a regular basis from Vandenberg. And I didn't appreciate it. I kind of got a little tiff with some of my instructors, how they thought they had the best job in the world. And I'm like, oh, we gotta have airplanes. This is stupid. I They had their own instruction manuals, which were different than we had for airplanes. And it just didn't connect with me, didn't make sense. So I complained a lot about my job and what we were doing. And I understand shooting missiles and rockets would launch satellites into space, so we have better communication, on our phones or TV, whatever it can be. And it's important. I mean, we have to replace them every few years to help other countries have good satellite connectivity. Also, we would do that. And I understood the importance of that. I just did not appreciate the training. I did not appreciate how people launching rockets are wearing flight suits. I still don't appreciate that. I think that's stupid. And now they want to give people that fly drones little wings on their collars or something. Anyway, that's a whole different story. Later on, when we became a Space Force base, I started appreciating more and more how the rockets would go. And SpaceX had a lot to do with this, not necessarily the Air Force. The SpaceX, it seems like every month, maybe every few weeks, they're launching something out there somewhere. And it's helping things become a little bit better. Now, not everything goes off as planned, as we know. And when you're launching a rocket, the weather conditions have to be just right. And sometimes it's a 15 or 20-minute window that they have to get things out there. And we need to be show that gratitude for God, for the weatherman, for whatever, and all the people being alert and on time to get things to happen and get the launch out there. And it's very interesting because when you're working something you're passionate about, something you believe in, your strength of character becomes just a little bit stronger. Now, we know, for instance, positive psychology. I studied psychology for many years, and it focuses on, well, positive thoughts. If you're talking about positive psychology, it's obviously positive thoughts and behaviors. And it can construct our optimism, our hope, and of course, our gratitude. And that's all positive thinking. You understand, which positive emotions, engagement, relationships, achievements, those are all key positive emotions. But what happens when things aren't going the way we plan? And don't get me wrong, sometimes, even though we wake up with the best intentions and we have that smile on our face and oh, we got it. we have our hat on. And what happened? Like I did a interview earlier today. I wear different hats, and usually I wear the hat according to the mood I'm in or according to the person I was going to interview and I couldn't find the right hat. And this was the hat I wore. But this isn't the one I wanted to wear for that event. This is a big deal. May or may not be. It doesn't matter. I like to wear different hats or covers. And it's those little things that can sometimes make or ruin our day. Oh my goodness, I had the wrong hat. I couldn't find a shirt. My pants are wrinkled. Whatever. My phone. I missed a phone call, and we can get stressed out, and we can get frustrated and just angry throughout the day. And sometimes not really a good reason. I understand if we missed a phone call, it could be from a child living overseas. It could be a promotion opportunity. It could be we won the lottery, whatever it is. And those times are frustrating. But we have to find a way to kind of reconnect and get over ourselves and make it up the best we can. And like we said, gratitude changes everything. Look at that, change my body into a gratitude in the coffee. We'll go back to having my cup of Joe, as they call it, cup of Joe. I'm grateful for my children, of course. Are they knuckleheads? Of course they're knuckleheads. And I'm thinking back when I was their age, I was a knucklehead also. At least my parents would probably agree. Maybe my siblings were getting older, more mature, and some wisdom there, but we still do some stupid stuff from time to time. Sure, we do. And that's okay. And I wake up, like I said, in a good mood, go to bed in a good mood. And I can't say my brothers are always in a good mood. They probably argue and complain more than I do. And I do argue and complain, especially politics. You think about our current government, they destroyed America. I'm not pointing out fingers, Biden, but you destroyed the United States of America. And we know you're a puppet, and we know who's pulling the strings behind you. But I'm not going to talk about it because please, everyone, do your own research and see what's going on out there, and make sure you vote for the best candidate. You may not agree with everything they say. You may not even like them. You may walk the other way. But what's best for our country is what's important. What's best for our citizens should be the first thing on our mind when we're voting. And regardless of who gets elected, oh, I can't believe I said that. We need to show gratitude that we do have a democratic system per se, and that allows us to vote. A lot of countries, they are dictatorship, and the voting, if at all allowed, doesn't really mean anything. And there are still kings and queens in different nations around the world. And it's just interesting. We vote and we know there's fraud in our voting system. We know there is. You can't get around it. And there's mail-in voting and ballots and all these other things. And I know when I was overseas, I spent a little bit over 10 years overseas in the military. And of course, I had to vote by mail. And I forgot what the time limit is. Actually, they have 24, 48 hours to collect the votes from us military or civilians working overseas and make sure all those votes are tallied. But somehow, somewhere, they already know who the winner is that evening or 4 o'clock in the morning the next day. Whatever. Let's just try to make things fair. And when we know life is fair, and it's not fair, but when we know people are trying to be fair with us and try to give us the benefit of the doubt, we can appreciate things and systems and people just a little bit better. Of course we can. And we can have a little bit of gratitude for people in the trenches, trying to get the ballots filled out, or even the people working trying to get help for those who are desolate and trying to make ends meet. And if you've been anywhere but under a rock, you can see there's homeless everywhere in the United States. I see it every day, everywhere I go, just about. And I know other nations have it also. Why? Why are so many people struggling? Why are so many people being challenged where they can't pay their bills or have a roof over their heads? God knows. And some of the people put in the power know that also. So regardless of who's in power, what can you do? What can I do to help one person a day? It might be $5. It might be a loaf of bread, might be lunch, might be dinner, might be a hotel stay for a couple of days, especially if they have kids. I know a lot of us are having problems trying to make ends meet ourselves. I know. And I'm not always as giving as I want to be. I'm giving. But sometimes people take and take and take and take and keep asking for more. And we don't have much more. All we have is our time, our talents, our treasures. Time, talent, treasure, the top three. If we treasures, obviously money, you have money and give it away. You have talents, it could be driving someone to an appointment, right? Our talents or treasure or time, just to listen to someone and what their struggles and challenges are. We don't have to fix anything. We just have to listen. And someone will give gratitude to us just for giving them the time of the day to listen to them for a while, to give a couple dollars, to drive them somewhere. Well, we can do those kinds of things. Even play music in the park for free just so somebody can enjoy it. That's something to be grateful for. That's some gratitude that most of us don't see or experience enough. Positive psychology gives us positive attitudes. Negative psychology, pessimistic thinking keeps us in a pessimistic and negative mode most of the time. Can you turn it on and off? Yeah. But I challenge you to today, starting today, go to bed with a smile on your face. If your house burns down, hopefully a neighbor brings you in and gives you a hot meal and gives you a place to stay for a couple days. And just be grateful for the moment. There's a lot of times people did things for us and we forgot to thank them. We forgot to ask forgiveness if we screwed up or forgive others that may have trespassed against us. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes all the time. You could ask Vanessa, you could ask Maria, you can ask a lot of different people. But it's important that we go out there and share our stories. I share my story and josephsco.com. I share with social media shows. I share it in different avenues and venues. And I try to do an optimistic style, optimistic presentation. You see, when you have a virtual screen, how things come in and out and disappear. I think the green screen works better than the computer screen does. It doesn't matter. I'm thankful I have a computer. I'm thankful I have lighting. I'm thankful I have an opportunity to share and talk with you for just a little bit. Make sure you subscribe to our channels. Look for us. Look for me, Joseph Skoda or Joseph Steven Skoda the third, but whatever it may be. And if you're a veteran, I definitely salute you because I know the challenges that many of us had to go through. And I'm grateful that I was able to do a 21-year career. Anyways, keep the gratitude up. It helps us to feel a little better inside. And when we're in a positive mood, we kind of attract other people that are in positive moods also. Isn't that what life's about? Surrounding yourself with people that help build you up and help you have just a little better day. See that? Anyways, you're in the office with Joseph Skoda, and I look forward to sharing with you again in the future. If you want to hear something special from these lips to your ears, please let me know because there's a lot of subjects I like to touch bases on, and there are some subjects I rarely talk about at all. But because I want to stay in a good mood. If I talk about war, it frustrates me, and unfortunately, it's necessary in some cases. With that being said, gratitude changes everything. So have a good attitude, have a good life, have a great day. Joseph Skoda, over and out. If you liked our show, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or find us on any social media platform, Instagram, of course, Facebook. Like, subscribe, share. We appreciate it. Let us know your thoughts and join our team. Anyways, We appreciate you staying tuned week after week, day after day, because we continuously build up our network to bring to you what you're asking for. Have a great day.